everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm a tree.
Griff.
I'm Bucket.
Just jump right in.
Yeah,
Well, it's because we hit the 2-minute mark. I usually try to wait for a nice little segment to jump into it. It was like 1:58, 1:59, start. I was like, oh, okay, we'll go.
Go.
That's the beginning of the show.
That's all the whole show is gonna be. We're just gonna like shotgun this thing and get out of here, right? That's the plan.
Let's go. Yes.
Shotgun.
Fine. We'll save all of our fun stuff for later. What about the news? That's boring. Let's get it out of the way first.
I mean, to carry on with the whole Embracer Group thing and getting rid of people, which everybody's been following, they made a bet on getting a bunch of money. The bet did not pay off, so now they've got to sell off a shit ton of assets to try to make it up. And the final one that they have sold.
That's a real word.
Is Gearbox Interactive to Take-Two. So now Take-Two owns Gearbox Interactive for $460 million.
Shocking no one, considering that was their publisher anyway.
Yeah, so they have them.
I imagine this is only going to be worse for anything that they own. So Borderlands and Risk of Rain and all that stuff. Yeah, I imagine this is not going to go well. Take-Two is.
As long as they leave Risk of Rain, like out of all of those games, they just need to leave Risk of Rain alone. Let them cook. Because the evolution from the first game to the second game was probably one of the best sequels I've ever seen in like advancement of gameplay style. So whatever they do for Risk of Rain 3 has got to be at least something on part of that. Just let them be. Let them
Wasn't the rumors on Risk of Rain 3 going back to 2D though?
There might have been.
I have no idea. That's not my. That's not my jam.
Something I'd seen recently, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
But $460 million. I wish I had
pocket
$400
change.
million.
That's pocket change for rich
change.
people.
Just kidding. That's a lot of money.
You ever leave a $5 tip? Yeah, that's what they're doing to the company. Yeah, whatever. Here, just take this. Move some things around. Find some pennies in the cushions. You'll be fine.
Oh well, we'll see what happens with that in the long run. You think we'll see another Duke Nukem? Because that's one of the franchises that.
No.
They own now.
Probably not.
The problem you run in with Duke Nukem is you can't make a Duke Nukem game now just because of the
crude
way
humor.
society, they can't handle it. Like we have evolved to where that style of game is no longer a thing. Like that humor is no longer part of who we are. So they could do it, but you're gonna have Gen Xers and maybe some boomers play the game, and that's about it. You're not going to have, I don't think you're going to have that many people, maybe some 15-year-olds will pick it up that aren't supposed to be playing the game anyway, because it'll be for mature audiences. Because the original one, I don't know how the Duke Nukem Forever was other than awful, but that
all sums it up probably.
Duke Nukem 3D was like, you're going into a strip joint, you have just the humor was very crude. Overall, I'm not sure if today's society would be able to handle the game, and you couldn't change that part of him, I don't think, and make an entertaining game. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you make it a lot like what's that game that you really like that was you had like the chain mechanic. It was a sci-fi.
Bulletstorm.
Make it like Bulletstorm.
Bulletstorm would be. People would be a lot harsher on Bulletstorm now too, and I'm not arguing that that's a bad thing. Like some of the creative curse words in that game and things that were said and insinuated were definitely, bad. And I guess to get across the idea that most of it was coming from a bad person, I get that, but yeah. I would like the leash thing if I could get another game with that mechanic. That'd be great.
That's a good mechanic to have.
It
But
was.
I think
It was fun.
sometimes we have to be able to separate, like some games, comedic styles, yes, are a little bit rough, but
risque.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing as long as the developers aren't making
GTA
it
is
on
probably
a
not
malicious.
Yeah,
point.
I don't think Rockstar is gonna nice up GTA 6, for when that releases.
I mean,
think it's
with the Grand Theft Auto series, it's kind of like a bit like modern satire.
Yeah, it's kind of predicated on that, like pushing the envelope, edgy.
So, like, if you go back and play some of the older ones, some of the humor and stuff may not be as funny or as relevant
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
But so that, I mean, 6 will probably be more up to date with the humor and stuff. I mean, even if you go back and play 5, so some of the humors are already getting a little bit dated.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2012, I think it was, so 12
Yeah.
years ago. A
Yeah.
long time ago. I mean, you've seen the teaser, whatever, for GTA 6. You can see where they're kind of getting their humor
Here's the
from,
real question,
like
though.
real life inspirations.
They're gonna update the humor, like Black has said. So are they updating it to the point where we don't get it anymore because we're too old now? Or are we still gonna get it? Like,
I think the problem you run into is the fact that I feel like the people making the game are still close enough to our age to where that humor is going to stick.
yeah.
So I'm not really sure, but it could end up being, hopefully not. It could have been in closer to the more recent Saints Row, where it sounded like it was like you said the script writing seemed like some of the jokes didn't fit.
It was
Because we were too old
well,
to get
no,
the-
it's not
the
that we were
young
too
kid
old.
joke.
It was that the problem with that Saints Row is it was very obvious that it was written by somebody older than me that was trying to write for somebody way younger than me.
Or,
Like,
or
you
as
could
far
tell.
as you know, Griff, as far as you know, that could just be how younger people write these days.
No,
And
I
yeah,
don't
it
think
could
so.
not be good. It could not be good. But I mean, that's how it happens for all of us. Our parents thought our humor was bad. You're gonna think the next generation's humor is bad, and so on and so on. That's how it always works. Like you will get outdated at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You will
well, I
always
mean,
get outdated at some point.
You can usually. It is possible to stay, current with things and get the jokes and whatnot. It's just one
You
of
can
those.
understand them, but that doesn't make them funny to you.
I'm trying to think of a situation in which that's been the case, wherever like there was like a teenager that was dying laughing at something that I didn't get, but I don't know.
I mean, it's
That
because
I've
you don't
come
stay
across
up with
that.
trends and things like that, because that's not your entertainment sphere, but that is their entertainment sphere now.
Well, and to be
No,
fair,
I mean-
what we found entertaining when we were 15, 16 years old and what we find entertaining now is not the same thing either.
Yeah, that's true.
Age
Yeah.
doesn't always have to do with it either, though. Like I remember growing up, so many people were like, "Oh, Jackass is the funniest shit I have ever seen," and I'm watching it going, "This is fucking dumb."
Yeah,
But
I
that's the
kinda
point,
fell into
dumb
that,
humor.
too. Yeah, I'm
Dumb
definitely
humor.
not.
Yeah,
There's
that's
different
just-
kinds of
it's-
humor, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't find people getting hurt funny personally, but
Plenty of people did, though. That's the difference.
yeah, I mean
Plenty
they
of people
did. And then it started a whole trend where people were
Well,
doing it in
mostly
their
morons,
backyards.
but
Hey,
Yeah.
we're all different in our humor styles and whatnot, and like, I mean, you show a kid cartoons from what we thought were funny back then, and they're just like, oh, this is just dumb. Like, how the
now
hell
I will say that
do you laugh at that stuff?
my kids still enjoy what we have, but it's
Well,
like I think, but I think it depends on what what you're watching at the time. Like if my kids like the original DuckTales, they don't like the modern DuckTales, but they've seen the original DuckTales first before the modern ones came out, so that could be part of it too.
No, the modern one was still pretty good, though.
Yeah, I didn't dislike it. It's the art that I didn't care for. Like their choice of, I like the original animation versus the more modern one. But also, Scooby-Doo, my kids grew up on the original Scooby-Doo. From 1969, I think is when that one originally started. So they grew up with it. So I think there's certain things that are going to transcend generations, but there's going to be certain things that like Bluey would be a great example where a bunch of adults are enjoying kids show as well.
And they're doing that show right too, because all the voice actors of the kids in that show are completely unknown. Like they keep the kids protected in that show, which, holy shit, it's about damn time. Like if you're going to be a kid actor or voice actor or whatnot, just keep them away from everything. Like they could do their voice acting job, just leave it at that. Because I forgot what show it was when they found out
You said it was Finn from Adventure Time.
Oh yeah, when they found out who voiced Finn from Adventure Time, the amount of harassment that kid got
Don't
was
be like that.
unparalleled, which I don't understand how people can like justify to themselves of harassing a kid for voice acting something.
I don't understand people harassing voice actors.
Leave it to the
in general,
fucking internet
adult
to
or
be
kid
like
otherwise.
just crazy.
But yeah, I don't disagree. I think Duke Nukem would be a little difficult, but I don't know.
I would
Guess
love
we'll
to see a
see.
Doom-like style game if they were to do it, because that game was kind of crude and you know, like the creatures would explode and stuff like that when you blew them up. I think you could do it and do it right in that respect, but I think you would have to just change the script, the
You'd have to
vernacular itself.
update the humor and the jokes,
Yep.
Yes.
which is
Definitely
going to completely push out
Alienate.
the old school audience of it.
I think you
They're
could
gonna
still be
alienate the
somewhat
original.
crude. It would just have to be slightly tweaked version of crude. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just I don't
Add
know.
in like half-naked men in there as well, but besides just the half-naked women.
Yeah, I mean, come on, change them to bowls of fruit for all we care.
Bowls of fruit,
That's
dancing
what,
around a
Blizzard
pole.
did.
Weird.
That's what Blizzard did. In one of the old raids, there were pictures of like sexy ladies and whatnot. They changed all the sexy lady pictures to bowls of fruit.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, this castle, whoever made this really has a thing
Really
for
likes them
fruit.
fruits. Look at the melons, the watermelons. The
No, for
watermelons.
real. I mean,
Look at the watermelons.
uh,
Oh, well.
Lord.
Speaking of older games, the Splinter Cell remake, which is this supposed to be the original Splinter Cell?
it is, right? Isn't it?
I feel like it's a reboot and not really a
reboot of the
remake.
series?
But they're saying remake. I think remake is what everybody's assuming it's going to end up being.
Well,
But I think it's a reboot of the
either
series.
way, first of all, we need Sam Fisher back. Holy shit! Come
Yes, we
on.
do.
Like this is definitely a game that we could use more of. But we're hoping that the update may be coming in June, so maybe we'll see more. Because my dream, and also I got my GameCube, and I did find my Splinter Cell Chaos Theory Disc 1. I don't know where Disc 2 is, but I have Disc 1.
You cannot play that with Nugget.
You
yet.
had it on GameCube?
Yeah, I had it on GameCube.
Wow, I had it on the OG Xbox.
Yeah, I had it on GameCube.
That was one of the first games I remember playing on Xbox Live
Oh.
because you could play back and forth. You could play with the people for co-op.
Oh, still hands down, short of like Splinter Cell Chaos Theory is like the hands down best co-op experience I've ever fucking experienced. I
Agreed.
could still see like the levels and whatnot. It's so good. My number 2 would be Army of Two. Like that co-op style game is like
Yeah, you two
true
played that
co-op.
one, right? You and Griff
Yeah.
played that one, right?
We played that one and then the second one, and they mutilated the fucking characters in the second one. Like it was tragic what they did to the characters. They turned them into like Army Day.
Army of
40th
Two.
Day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they like mutilated the characters. There was mutual respect, lots of camaraderie, like brothers in arms in the first one, and then in the second one they just made them like the fat guy jokes and the little guy jokes, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, you just destroy these characters after making them so well.
It was pretty sad.
I
Don't-
thought that they were totally different characters on the second time around.
It's supposed to be the same too.
It's
That's the
supposed to
problem.
be.
Really?
Yes.
Yes,
that makes
That's
it even
the-
worse now.
Yeah.
He's sitting there thinking to himself,
problem.
I thought they were different
Well, holy
characters.
shit.
Nope.
yeah, that was the problem. And I was like, oh hell yeah, we're getting the second one. Started playing it with Griff, and I was like, halfway through, I was like, God, what did they do to these characters? They like brutalized them.
It felt awful.
This is not cool.
You know, a lot of the
yeah.
comments are like, this Splinter Cell thing, this announcement's probably going to be for a mobile game. And it's like, oh, that would hurt. A mobile
Yep.
game or a Fortnite tie-in. Those are the two
No,
leading
God damn it.
comments.
We need this kind of stealth game again because it's
Having
And
never
he-
played it, would you rather it be a reboot or a remake?
either one is fine.
I mean, I have no dog
Yeah,
to fight. I don't know what
As
it's
long
like,
as
so.
the reboot is a true reboot in the fact that he goes back to being in the dark.
yes.
Because they did this thing where which they kind of had to do plot line wise. I think Double Agent was the first one that they did it on, where it was where you're in the middle of the daylight for part of it, so you're trying to do your stealth stuff. It reminded me of Hitman more than it did of so you're just trying to move around in the daytime, and it was really hard to do the stealth because of that. Because one of the things with him is you have a light meter, and it lets you know whether or not you're being seen or not based on that light meter. And it was a very basic light meter to start with. Like, it was just like a black and white light meter at the beginning. But I like the aspect of being in the dark, and just it's almost like a feeling of power, knowing that this guy is standing next to you and they can't do anything about it, and you're about to take him out. It was so brilliant the way that game's done. And that's what made Chaos Theory so good, was because there were two of you that were able to do it, and whoever created the game and came up with the idea of if you were talking on microphones, you had to whisper because you had a meter at the bottom of the screen that showed you whether or not the bad guys could hear you or not, how audible you were.
Yeah, like the game was so good. And that actual thing is a big discussion point I saw a little bit ago, that stealth games these days are just meh, because they're all crouch based and line of sight based. Like, that's it. You could crouch, and I have like straight up walked next to people and they're just like, oh yeah, he's crouched, I guess I can't see him. But back in the day, like with this kind of stealth-based game, it was all about the lighting. You shoot out the lights, you make the hallway dark. You can see in night vision, but you watch the enemies kind of struggling to move through the dark, and you have the advantage. Or they'll try to turn the lights back on. Like, it added this different variation to this. Like, it felt like real stealth, not just crouch stealth.
And we had like 3 or 4 ways that you could go through an entire level.
Yeah.
Like different pathing that you could take, and it was neat. So like, if you were really skilled at maybe if you were really skilled at the stealth part of it and you wanted to stay on the ground, you could do that.
Oh yeah.
Or if you turn around, you go, I want to go inside the rafters, or I want to go inside of hide behind these servers, or whatever you wanted to do, you could do it that way too. Like, it was brilliant on how some of it was set
level
up.
design and the Splinter Cell games are just above and beyond what we get these days. Like, they were just well done for stealth gameplay. And dear goodness, please give us some Splinter Cell back. Like, oh my goodness. Like, Sam Fisher is a badass, and he was super good, but it feels like he just got left to the wayside. Like, I guess he just wasn't a big enough pull to sell games, and they just kind of let him die.
I mean, the stealth genre is a very niche area anyway, so...
Especially now, I would say. Yeah,
a lot of people don't have the patience for it. Like, they want to just be able to go through the game and beat it. And
well, and
especially with streaming.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was gonna say about it. You're right, stealth is niche these days because everybody's so concerned with how quickly they can get through it and be done with it and be like, oh, I played this, okay, next. I played this, okay, next. And it's like, nobody really wants to, like, savor it, it seems. I'm not gonna say nobody, that's not true. There's still plenty of people that do. It's just less people. More people are in the, like, get through it next, get through it next, get through it next. And at that point, I just gotta ask, why are you playing games?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people, especially when it comes to streaming, like sometimes they don't even finish the game. They play something until the next big thing comes out, and then they instantly move on to that whether they've beaten the game or not.
I am no matter what the decision on whether it's a remake or a reboot, that Michael Ironside is still doing the voice of Sam Fisher, because he's the voice. And if you can't get him, because I mean, he's probably in his 70s now, if I had to guess. But if you can't get him, like, at least try to find somebody that can sound close to him, voice-wise. Just so we have a similar voice that we're used to carry that over.
74.
There you go.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
Yeah. I hope we get a good one. I really hope we get a good one.
Couple
I
months,
know
you'll find
it's
out.
too slow paced for the majority of gamers these days, but I'd still love to see it.
Yep.
All right, what else?
Well, we were talking about stealth. So, The Shadow of the Mordor game that we loved that came out was originally supposed to be a Batman game. So some of the footage came out from it. It surfaced online, which I believe when we first talked about the game and the Nemesis system and all that, I said it'd be great for these different types of game. And Batman was one of the ones I named.
Well, we talked about how it felt like it played similar to Batman as well.
I remember my first thought after playing it for like an hour was like, wow, they took Assassin's Creed and Batman and just mixed it together and gave us Shadow of Mordor. And I was like, this is like you got the perfect gameplay along with the perfect system. Like, holy shit, Shadow of Mordor is good.
Yeah, when I saw that
Really
headline, I was like, I'm shocked. No,
I know, right?
Not really, though.
Do you think it's what you use in court? Remember they were getting sued from Assassin's Creed 2? Do you think they just turn around and go, did we though?
Yeah. So that's not surprising.
I do think that the Nemesis system would be great in a game like that, which is why they're doing a Wonder Woman game with the Nemesis system in it. So I'm still, just because of how good the Nemesis system is, I am full in on a game. I haven't pre-ordered it. I'm not purchasing it day one, but my eyes are on it just because of that system. And unfortunately, we don't have very many games utilizing that system.
It is a cool system.
One of the few games that I can point to and be like, this system is revolutionary. This shit, use this in other games. This would make a top-notch Assassin's Creed game. Like, holy shit! Imagine the
Ubisoft
Templars.
doesn't know how to make top-notch Assassin's Creed games anymore.
Imagine the Templars coming back at you after learning your techniques, or you try to assassinate one. You think you kill him, and he fucking pops up later when you're trying to assassinate somebody else, and just comes after you. Okay, cool. Now you either got to fight him or fucking try to vanish again. Oh, you ran away from him? Well, he hunts you down for a third time and has an ability that makes it so that you can't escape him this time. So now you do have to fight him. The AI, the director, is getting smarter. The enemies are getting smarter on how to trap you or try to reverse your play style. Like that stuff is what makes me excited to play games. Because right now a lot of games are just zoom and you just run through it without much of a challenge. So I always like Shadow of Mordor. You kill a bad guy, and then you're working on somebody else, or you got two bad guys, and you go to try to kill them, and then the fucking one that you killed 4 or 5 hours ago shows up and is like, "Oh, you thought you killed me? Well, I'm back, bitch." Oh, God,
I also like the fact though that if that bad guy killed me, and you were playing your game, he would then come into your game, and you could that was just so awesome. I could
hunt him down and then send you the rewards back. God.
It's such a brilliant way to do that.
That is why I just want to scream at Warner Brothers for just sitting on this system for so long. They made 2 games with it, and then now the Wonder Woman game, which is fine. Just
they're trying. It's like they're trying to only use it with licensed game instead of coming up with. And I get Warner Brothers got a lot of licenses, but it's like, come on, instead of using your own license, you could just, hey, developers, what kind of game do you want to do, and create your own IP that's built into that, and then maybe that game gets popular enough that, I don't know, you create a TV show or a movie or something like that to put on Max. I don't know, but it's just its system's got to be utilized a lot more.
Yes, nice. The biggest fucking sad thing in the world of games is that that not using the Nemesis system in any way at all, not even trying to use it, is just sad. It's gonna be interesting to see how they do it in the Wonder Woman game. So
yeah, I'm interested because even if you're talking about the Batman thing, I was thinking about at what point do you stop them coming back? You know what I mean? And how do you lore wise create that inside of, because I know that happens a good bit in comic books anyway, but how do you present it with the Nemesis system in that respect?
For something like the Batman game, you capture them, you send them to Arkham. Now
and then they escape.
You either have to try to keep them in Arkham, or if you're too far from Arkham, or you ignore it for too long, they've escaped. And then you get a warning that's like, so and so has escaped Arkham, and you either have to go back to try to catch them or finish what you're doing, and then you go back and they're gone, and they show up later.
I can see that.
definitely options that they could have done, but I'm glad that at least we got Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War from it.
Right.
Not enough for me, but it is what it is. I've been preaching about this damn thing for years at this point, so I'm sure nobody's surprised.
Both better than the Golem game.
Most anything is better than the Gollum game, except for the King Kong game that came out the same year as the Gollum game recently.
The year
Which
of flops.
I was so mad about that too. I was like, so glad I didn't buy it, but at the same time, I was so mad. Because I wanted a good King Kong game since the last one.
You'll never get one.
No, probably not. So we all love our video games. We love to make sure that we hold on to our library as much as we can. It looks like Xbox is setting up a preservation system to be able to hold on to a bunch of the old games. And it looks like backwards compatibility is going to be a continual thing for Xbox, however long Xbox exists.
Good.
Which is nice. I'm really excited about that and interested to see what that's going to entail in the future too, like what that's going to look like 10, 15 years down the road.
Yeah, I don't know why I just thought about this, like how they're trying to preserve your libraries and things like this. And it also kind of goes into this other article too, is like, I never realized that Steam allows you like permanent preservation too. Like if you ever get a game and have it in your library and they take it off the store, you still got it.
It's still
forever.
in your library, yeah.
Like it's still yours forever. Like, and now with the family sharing thing, like we have full circled back around to where if you want to borrow your friend's game, you can borrow it straight to your PC, and it doesn't interrupt them, and you can just play it. So Steam has offered the ultimate game preservation style, which is nice. And speaking on that, Phil Spencer has said that he wants more digital storefronts on Xbox too. Which again, if they have Steam on on Xbox, then you have your library permanently. So you've always got access to it. And if they do family sharing, then you have access to your brother's library or your dad's library or things like that. Like it kind of shares across the whole board.
I'd be interested to see how that's going to end up looking if they are able to pull that off on Xbox, because they mentioned the Epic Store, and then was it itch.io or whatever it's called?
Itch.io,
which is an indie store. I had to look it up because I had no idea what it really was. I'd never heard of it. But because right now you basically all you have is the Xbox store available to you, the way that theirs is normally set up, and then you have so if you add those in, how are those going to integrate? Are you going to make it to where they have to have a controller compatibility in order to be able to download out, let's say Steam as an example? Those are the only ones that are going to show up. So it'd be similar to like right now, if you look on Steam, you have Windows as an option, Mac as an option, Linux as an option when you go to purchase. So I'm wondering if it'll do something similar to that, but it'll be with controller available. It's going to be interesting if that ends up happening. But I like the concept.
Yeah.
I really do, and it keeps them out of hot water because it looks like the FTC is coming after everybody right now for
exclusivity.
So,
which I didn't put this article in here, but I thought I would say something about it since talking about the storefronts on Xbox. Apple is allowing emulators on their phones for the first time ever. Of course, it has to abide by laws and regulations, of course, but they are allowing emulators now. Or emulators, very specific ones, but it's a step in the right direction that allows more access to the iPhone platform or the Apple platform. So some evolution in that department so far. We'll see where that goes. Now, if you play Diablo 4 on Xbox, there's no BattleNet app or anything like that.
How does it work?
I imagine if it's like everything else, it's whatever somebody else has. Like if you have like EA, if you have an EA account, you log
You got
into
to
the EA
sign
account.
into the account to
You
do
sign in the
that.
account. I think it's the same way with Blizzard stuff too.
Okay,
Blizzard
because
Activision.
I love Game Pass, and I'm gonna complain about this. I'm gonna complain about this. God damn it! With Game Pass right now, you have like every time you open it now for me, it opens up my Riot client and it opens up Battle.net. So I get like opening up that now opens up 3 different clients for me.
Really?
It doesn't show because I've got the Riot client and it's a necessary thing, which being me, I have found a way around it. You have to actually go into the Riot client and remove permissions for other apps to be able to open it, but it resets constantly. So every time I go to open it up, I've got to shut off the permissions, reset it so that it doesn't open it up. And I can't close it. I can't close either one of them while the Xbox Game Pass app is open because it's like, oh, well, the Game Pass is open. This needs to run too. And it's like, ugh, it's annoying.
See, that defeats the purpose of linking your account. Because like if I'm linking my account normally for most stuff, all it's doing is giving me credit to be able to link across multiple devices, right? But the fact that it's still having to pull up a browser of some sort or a client of some sort is just annoying as shit.
Yes.
Because it's one extra thing that's running in the background while I'm trying to play a video game, which we're trying to streamline everything.
Yeah.
To start with.
I mean,
like,
Steam does it too with Ubisoft or the Bethesda Net launcher or whatever else. It's so irritating. You try to play a game and it opens up another browser, and then you got to play the game from that browser, and it's like, bruh, I get it. Everybody's got their own fucking browser, which keeps all of their own games in their own little area. But God, is it annoying trying to play one game?
And then it opens
The
up
good
something
thing,
else.
though, the good thing about the Battle.net and Game Pass thing is I don't have to open up Game Pass anymore to play Diablo 4. Like
You can open it from Battle.net?
It's a dependent way. Like you open up Game Pass and it opens up everything, but I could open up Battle.net by itself and run Diablo 4 without Game Pass and the Riot client. So I like
so
that.
it linked backwards, basically.
Yeah. So it's fine like that. Same thing. I can open up the Riot client and it won't open up Game Pass. But if I open up Game Pass, it opens up everything. So most of the time, I just leave Game Pass alone.
That's interesting. It's almost like there should be a setting inside of Game Pass for that.
I know, right? But
Like,
don't
or what you want to
don't open anything unless I'm like unless I click play on one of the games that needs, then you can open it up. But otherwise, just leave it closed. God damn it! I don't need it running in the background.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about it. The Windows running in the background if you're playing one of the other two. So
yes, it is very. I like that, so I don't got to worry about one of the Game Pass popping up and then opening up Riot client while I'm trying to play Battle.net now. So at least there's that. Very happy that I could just throw up Battle.net and play Diablo 4 now. It's convenient. I've been playing it, enjoying the shit out of it as much as I can. I think I'm burning through the game very fast.
How fast is very? Like what?
I mean, I think I'm halfway to cap. I think I'm like level 27 or some shit, and I haven't even finished Act 1. And I think it's like 3 acts or something. I don't know. I'm also playing on the hard difficulty too, which increases XP, and it's not hard at all. It's so easy. But I've been enjoying it. I mean, just having access to it now, I've been wanting to play it, so get that itch out of my way. I've been itching to play it. I mean, I even thought about playing Last Epic, I think it was, Last Epoch.
Last Epoch.
Yeah, the other ARPG style game. It's like a mix of Path of Exile and Diablo 2. So I was like, oh, maybe I want to play that. And then they're like, Diablo 4 is coming. And I was like, I'll just play that. I already have access to Game Pass. I'll just play that.
Game Pass means it's free.
Yes. Well, no, I pay for Game Pass.
Well, yeah, but it means that you can play as many things as you want for free. So
yes, it is. It is fun to have access to all of that.
Yeah.
Game Pass is.
I haven't played a bunch of Diablo 4.
Yet.
I get that.
I think I hit like 13, and then I got sidetracked with Star Wars Galaxies for a little while.
I think that's about where Red's at too. I think he said he was 16 because he wanted to play with you guys, like alongside you guys, and I think he's around 16 too. So, but you know, Red, he has like the attention span of a gnat sometimes. So.
Yeah, and the tragic thing is I've already done this whole thing during the beta part, and a 20 was the open beta cap level, and I'm already 27, and I haven't even gotten back to where I was when I finished
Oh
the open
wow.
beta. So
Were you playing on hard then too, or is there even
no,
a
I was just playing
difficulty?
on the normal difficulty.
Oh, okay.
So I'm playing on hard and just like blitzing through everything.
Well, speaking of games that we're playing and for free, you want to talk about the content warning thing?
Content warning. That game was free for like 24 hours, and that was it.
Yeah,
And they
it
just
launched
released it.
as free and then went back, and that's a wild way to do some promotional stuff for your game.
Much respect for it because it makes some good content, and if you could trend with that, then the people who are a little bit of late bloomers can be like, oh, that was pretty good for $8. Sure, why the fuck not? I'll go ahead and throw it down and get it. Everybody seems to be enjoying it, so it kind of gives people an early preview so that they can get a lot of reviews in, and it kind of generates a little community around it. So it's good.
But it's a a small team. I think they said 5 people that work on it, and they're having some server issues. But I guess maybe they are having server issues because they didn't expect it to make quite such a splash. But you did launch your game for free, and that's the best price for everyone. So, but they're working on it. That game is we tried it out, and we don't really know how to work it yet. As far as like what the game wants from you, but it was a lot of fun.
Watching some people play, I think it wants you to use the mic. Like it's almost a necessary to use the in-game mics.
Well, that's fine. We definitely will.
Yeah, I did because it allow you to run solo just so I could see the difference between it. And so I went in and went down and filmed for a little bit, found one thing that was scary to film, came back up, turned the thing in, and then saw what y'all were talking about with the chat on the side and all that stuff. And I ended up with like 500 views, and you have to get like I think 3,000 total or whatever. And it was just me by myself, and it was I was probably down there for a total of 5 minutes and filmed all but 29% of the thing. So I had 29% of the film left. So I was like, okay.
You
so
play with me. We don't leave
all of it
until it's 0%.
Everybody was dead except for Kat, and he's like, "Get out there and get the camera. It had like 15%. Go get the camera and film the rest.
Get the camera, make more content. You either die making content or you don't leave."
Yeah, it was interesting though. I like the graphical difference, like
From
between
the top side down below,
top side and the downside.
Yeah.
Like it's so nice.
I like that you get to make your own little face for your character.
Yeah, mine's just oak.
Oh, I saw one of the items. That you get, and again, it's probably like we need to get further on, but it's a taser on a stick.
Ooh, I want that.
And yes, you can tase your friends,
Oh,
and they have
we're
no
gonna film
idea
it.
what's happening. Like you could just like touch them with the taser, and they just kind of like stiffen up and fall over. It is hilarious.
So it's a more stationary version of the stun gun from Gmod.
Remember, it's for content. Don't try this at home, folks. Zap! Get it on camera. Get it on camera.
I
like that there's a stealthy option as well.
In front of a monster just to record them being eaten.
At one point I was like, we need to get more views. What can we do? And Red had the camera, and I was like, Red, film it eating you. He's like, no. I was like, do it right now. So he did.
I love, because it reminds me a bit like Lethal Company, but I love that they offer healing styles in this game.
You hug people.
You have a how to hug book and a defibrillator. Now, the book you actually have to hold, and you like while holding the book, you can give other people hugs, which like heals them for like 15% of their health. You have to give them lots of hugs to heal them back up to full. So you got to make sure you got a camera person, a hug person. Like you got to make sure you go in like prepared once you get more stuff. Like it's a really neat game. It's fun.
I
for
can't
like
wait
a
to play more
party
of it.
night.
You would think Kat would be the best hugger, but
She was.
she let well from what I got to watch from y'all playing, she did like fucking let Grip die.
Oh, that's true. I was like, hug me. She's like, I can't right now. She's standing right next to me. I was like, I'm right here, and there are monsters running around. I was like, hug me. She's like, I can't get to you. I'm right next to you. I died. the thing turned and killed me. And I was like, I was right next to you. What happened? Why wouldn't you hug me? She's like, I thought you were the one across the room.
And the game doesn't feel so feudal like it does in Lethal Company. Like when you see monsters, you don't feel like you're just gonna die right away. Like they're intimidating, and you have to be careful of them. But you can make some pretty good content. Like they don't instantly kill you. The one that like slithers around and whatnot with like little Mewtwo hands and whatnot will like grab you and shake you up in the air and then whip you, like throw you up against the wall or some shit. But you don't die. You take some damage. If he does it again, you're gonna die. So you got, you just got like, yay for content, then run away before he fucking grabs you again.
I do like that it does facilitate people running around and yelling, hug me now, please hug me.
It's a fun game for sure, and you can save your little videos too. So like after you've done, you go out, you put it in the little disc maker thing, and then you take the disc out and you
everybody
go to
piles into the living room to watch
the living room so that everybody could like watch your video together, and then you got a little like AI chat log on the side.
I like that it lets
Twitch
you save it too.
Yeah, you can save it to your desktop, so you can always have your videos, things like that. It's fun stuff. It's fun stuff.
It is a cute little game for $8. It's $7.99, so $8. Yeah, like worth. It's cute. We've enjoyed it the little bit that we've played.
Definitely get some more.
Yeah. We've been. Although it's also one of those things where it's the time of year where we have less time now, so it's like I have to be more judicious about what I'm gonna spend my free time on.
I know.
Oh.
Not like Halo.
Yeah, Baka and I started playing. We made it over halfway through Halo 2 last night.
I started playing Halo. You almost finished Halo.
Yeah, we're on mission 9 out of 15. So,
I learned how to launch a tank through the air.
He also crushed me with the tank. He's hit me with the sword. I have a little revenge, but it's not even my own. It's through the game because I turned on skulls that don't matter. And I have it where
she says skulls that don't matter. I want to debate that.
Doesn't.
Go ahead.
It doesn't give. Okay, I guess what I mean is they don't give anything to the score multiplier. So it's one of those where it does stuff, but it doesn't count towards anything. But I have the ones where when the grunts die, they explode in a plasma explosion. And that I also have all of my explosions are 2 times larger. Do not melee the grunts. Do not melee the grunts. Just don't. And try not to kill the grunts when your friend is running in front of you. Oh man, it makes it almost like a horror game at some point though, because you're like, I saw a grunt, but I don't know where it's at. Where is it at? Is it right around this corner? Am I about to die? It's a lot of fun though.
Especially if you come up on a suicide grunt, your friend's standing too close.
So far, none of those.
Then it's back to the checkpoint.
We've had a couple of times.
She did make a room of stuff explode, and then some of the debris went flying and smashed me into a wall.
I didn't know that was gonna happen. In my defense, I didn't expect the physics to work that well, but it did. It crushed him. I was like,
I mean, we played the thing in Halo 3 where shit goes flying all the time and kills us.
Well, yeah, but that's one. That's a custom map.
I still have all those maps, and everybody needs to make sure they download the Halo Master Chief Collection, because we could throw it out in some Halo 3 Blam.
Oh, dude, I'll play some Halo all day.
Halo 3 Blam with 8 people in that small-ass cube, and just watch everybody just die instantly. Spawn up, throw a grenade, and fucking pray. Like, oh god. Somebody spawns with a rocket launcher, boom, everybody dies.
Yes.
Octa-kill, or whatever the hell it is. Killionaire.
Although, make sure when you download the Master Chief Collection that you go into the settings and go to gameplay and see what your actual installed content is, because downloading the Master Chief Collection downloads the hub and not the games themselves.
Yes.
That is correct.
So,
it's always
PSA.
And you get a choice of whether you're doing the campaigns that you're downloading or the multiplayer.
Yeah.
My recommendation is, at the very least, download the Halo 3 multiplayer. That's at the very least.
Yeah. I'm wondering if y'all have that on Steam, or are you playing that through Game Pass?
Got it on Steam.
I have it on Steam, but we play with Cat through Game Pass, so.
Yes.
Okay, so you're all able to. I was.
Yeah,
that's what I was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
ask.
It's cross-
You can Game
cross-platform.
Pass.
Okay, I didn't feel like that was going to be a big deal, but I just wanted to know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it even when I loaded it up, it's like, hey, what piece are you going to use? The gamepad or mouse and keyboard? Because there's crossplay automatically enabled, and depending on what you pick is going to be, you know, what your lobbies fill out to be. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I don't care. I'm going to play with mouse and keyboard, but it is nice to know that there's crossplay enabled. So it's all under your Microsoft.
Yeah, on
account.
that one, I'm controller and controller.
Yeah,
everything.
controller.
I was
Yeah.
controller, but man,
Dude,
after the games with Griff being too close,
Chicken and I had our anniversary. Our anniversary was this past week, and so
16
we
years.
always, 16 years of playing games together. We always try to play Halo because that's where we met. And so we played Halo multiplayer, Halo 3 multiplayer just between the two of us. Man, I have never kept games so close with him. I won 2 out of 5. He won 3. Okay, but that's only
Yeah.
because I don't know Epitaph well enough. He got like 3 kills on me, and I'm like, how did you get there? And he's like, you just jump over this, and it's right there.
all I gotta say now is like, I don't play with controller enough to be as proficient as I was way back then. But you put an FPS in my hands with mouse and keyboard, and I'm a whole different beast.
Well, we'll
these
test
days.
that out soon, okay?
I got
But
you.
let me
You
feel
better
good
watch- I
about
will-
it, okay?
And I swear, if you got that aim assist on, I'm gonna be throwing hands.
I kept him within like 2 points, I think, for almost all of them. Which usually, like, just for context on this,
okay, for
usually I felt good if I could get within 5 points of him. So
For context, we played. I'm just gonna use an estimation. We played for like 60 minutes total, all of the rounds. I used the gamer position for about 10 to 15 minutes total, and everybody knows what the gamer position is. You go from this to this.
Yep.
yeah, but I still
was
beat
laid-
you in
I
those
was
when
laid
you were
back.
doing the whole...
I was laid back in the chair, and she started getting scores on me. She was like 3-4 up on me, and I was like, So I sat up and just started smacking her around. And was like, okay, it's even again. We're sitting back. Like, if I did not try hard, because before I had to try, but now I have to try hard to make sure she doesn't just whoop my ass. So every now and then I had to hit the nitro to make sure I can stay ahead.
That's
if
still
not catch
somewhat
up.
dangerous. Come on.
Yes, yeah, she is.
Have I replaced Red as your number 2 now? Come on.
Red is number 2.
That's mean.
That is my phrase. I am sorry. Red used to be my number 2. Like he was a beast, and I always kept him as like my side player. Like he was always the second player. But over the years, he has just gotten, no offense to him, he has just gotten casual, and he has lost a lot of his skill, and he just is not to the level he was before. So he went from being number 2 to being a number 2. So,
Boo,
I
dad
still love
jokes.
Red. Still love Red, but
Yes, we love Red.
bro just isn't there anymore.
For Halo, I was always on number 2, so
That's okay. We have a lot of fun playing it together, and that's what's really
that's fine.
important.
I had
Oh.
my own games that I can wreck with. So
Yes.
only if I win do I have fun.
we could
Unfortunately,
do,
that's like only
we
for
get
Halo,
8
though.
together. We could do Griffball.
Mhm.
Oh, we could. Somebody's gonna have to find a Griffball map, though.
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure got
I'm
one
sure we
still.
can find one on the file share. I just don't
all
have
of
one.
my old videos, from like 15, 13, 14,
Corrupt,
15
because
years
they're
ago
from
are all
Xbox
corrupted.
360. What do you
I got all
want?
my maps and game modes though. Like all the maps are still there, all the game modes are still there, but all of my files are gone. It's like, do you want to delete these? And I'm like, no.
It's because
I'm
of the
done.
way that they were created. They were created in the engine.
Hey,
And it's-
I know.
It's just
Let's see.
it is what it is.
Yep.
but
And I'm still, because they took down the Halo website like years and years and
yep,
years
the
ago.
Bungie.net site.
So I
Mm.
took a picture of the game that I met Griffin from all those years ago, and I still have it. Let's see. When did I
Aren't
take
you
this picture?
romantic?
Yeah.
Okay, this was from January 14th, 21.
That's when you found your screens. Oh, that's because that's when
That
they were
was-
gonna start taking the site down. So you went
That's
ahead
when
and
they
saved
took
it.
the site down, because I would always go back and look at my old games and whatnot. But they were like, "Oh yeah, we're getting rid of this website entirely. You're not gonna have access to it anymore." And I was like, "Oh, well, shit." Can I just post that there? There you go. I posted it in the respawn thing. You can see the game. You can see the date and the time that everything shifted.
For
Oh,
us.
man. Yeah, for us. The 4 Red Rings.
Yeah.
4/4/2008 at 10:34 p.m. That night, I had school the next day. By the way, I stayed up till like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up at 5. Let's just say kids don't make the best decisions.
That they don't.
Man. Well, we've been playing a few things, I guess, but that was definitely a recent highlight. It's interesting to see when things that we used to play come back into our purview, because then we get really excited about it again. So I imagine in the next few shows you'll probably hear us talk about playing Halo.
Oh man.
It cycles out. Don't worry, we'll get over it and go with something else later. But you
Man,
know.
just a few more years, it's gonna be 20 years since we met, Griff.
I know. We did play
20
some
years.
Lethal Company, and what else did we do this week? Or these couple of weeks, because we haven't been here.
We played a bunch of Friday the 13th too, which is good. Oh, and speaking of such, I think it was Baka that found it. That it makes me super happy. Super happy. Amadi community is coming out with a way to play the game after support for the real Friday the 13th is gone. It's called Friday the 13th Rebirth, and I think it's going to take all the assets of the original
I
game.
think they're even going to be adding new content and shit from the looks of it too. Yeah,
like what was supposed to be added, they're getting all of that, and they're going to add it too. Which, thank goodness, because I love that game. That game is a ton of fun, especially when you're just trying to escape. 90% of the time I get killed, but I'm always like, let me do this, and I'll just leave. I'll just go away, right? Yeah, just let me go. And then you have people who just like show up and just murk you. Like no remorse. They just show up, kick open your door, and kill you.
That actually happened. One of the matches where Sentry was the killer. I was like, my first building. I've opened 2 of these drawers, and then he busted through the door, and I was like, oh man, and I was dead.
Oh, you want to know
instantly.
you want to know the best death of the night? It was mine.
Murdering you?
Of course. No, it was the best death of the night.
Okay.
So I spawn up. And I literally walk towards the first house, and it's Sentry's first time to be the killer. And he's like, oh, and I hear him talking, and I was like, oh, shit. Hey, how about you don't kill me right here? And he's walking at me, and I was like, I'll teach you how to use your abilities. And then you can just let me go. Yay, just let me live. And so he's like, okay, fine. So I tell him how to use his abilities, what they do, how to use them. And I was like, you could also put down traps and things like that and whatnot. And I was like, you can put them down near cars and people can, it'll stop somebody from getting it. Cool. He puts one down in front of the car, and I was like, all right. And he goes to wander off, and I go into this house that I spawned next to finally, and there's a battery in it. And I was like, hell yes. All right, I could take a hit. I'm also playing one of the girls who's a good engineer. She's really good at repairing stuff. So I was like, okay. Get the battery. Afterwards, I can go find a med kit or something, somebody to heal me. So I walk back out, and he's not anywhere around me. So I'm like, cool, this is perfect. So I start repair. I take the trap. I get hurt. Fine. I knew that was going to happen. No big deal. I start repairing, and then I hear Baka's loudspeaker coming over headset, and I was like, oh shit, somebody's running up on me. And then I hear Sentry yelling over top, and I was like, oh shit, I need to finish this. So I finished it real quick, and I look behind me, and I see somebody coming across the bridge with a Jason right behind him, and I was like, oh shit. So I run around the car, and I go to run away, and I hit the trap next to the gas can and die instantly. And I was like,
you did that to yourself.
Are you serious? I just died. He let me go, but apparently I killed myself. So I was so mad. I was like, seriously? I didn't even get a cool death. All I got was murdered. And that was it.
One of my favorite
anticlimactic round.
One of my favorite parts of the night, and the way that this game works when you're playing with your friends, is sometimes it's good. It's just funny. I was off by myself because I usually am. I feel like if I'm ever in the group, I am going to die and get everyone around me killed. So try to stay in this game like kind of off by myself. And I went and found the cabin where the sweater is at. And Baka's like, who's over here by themselves? What are you doing? You're trying to get the sweater? And I was like, well, I always get the sweater. And he's like, what are you doing over here? Are you trying to kill me? And I was like, no. And then, like, for the next 15 minutes, I'm standing, like, in the street with Jason. It's just, like, the little survivor girl and Jason. And we're just, like, having a conversation because I was like, well, I can't call Tommy Jarvis to do the kill thing because I couldn't make the phone call. Like, the power's not on. And he's like, well, you just got to go turn on the power. Like, Jason is trying to murder us, but nah, he's just here shooting the shit with me about how to turn the power back on and get your stuff up and running. He's like the most helpful killer ever.
That was a weird.
That was the game. Like I only killed like 2 people. Then I just ran around, popping around, fucking around. Like I only wanted to kill one person, and then it was either Snitty or was it Oak?
It was Oak and Snitty. I think
Yeah,
you
I
killed
think you killed Oak and Snitty.
Yeah, well, one of you two.
Well, because I kept
fucking
hitting you in the
me.
face every time you were trying to hold somebody, and you go, "Oh, you're definitely dying now." And then
Yeah. Like I was just fucking around, and fucking Oak just kept hitting me, and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna
pick
fucking
up my
kill you.
friends. That's what
I mean,
happened.
I can't blame him. You're a killer. He's trying to stop you.
It is.
I wasn't gonna kill them.
That was such a weird map, though, because both the phone and the radio were in the same building.
And the power
Really?
was out to them.
Yeah,
You could have
It
repaired
took
it right
me
outside.
forever. Like, I spent, like, 10
If
minutes
you have the
in that
fuse, yes.
cabin. Oh, I'd put the fuse in, and I spent 10 minutes looking for the stupid phone because it's, like, this big on a wall that is the same color as the phone. And I couldn't find it because the power was out, so it wasn't putting the little prompt circle up over it. And
I
I
also
was
got
so
the
mad.
phone line.
For the Tommy Jarvis one, you just have to repair the power outside. You don't need a fuse or anything. There's
I
a power
didn't know the
box
power was
outside
broken.
you can
That's
just
the
repair.
thing. I didn't know.
The fuse is for calling the cops.
Yeah, I put the fuse in. That's the thing, is I had found the fuse in
Yeah,
another
yeah.
cabin. I
But
came with the fuse
shortly
in.
after you put it in, I popped up and was like,
Yeah.
oh, so someone repaired the thing. I'm just gonna cut the line.
I
And then I
didn't know
left
you
it.
could do that, so I had no idea. I was like, why can't I find the stupid phone?
Yeah,
And the Tommy
the
Jarvis
power
call
supply
thing was
that
next
called
to it, and I
Tommy
couldn't do. Yeah,
is like 2 houses down.
I was so mad. They were for that map, it was in the same house. The phone was on the wall next to the bathroom, and then right outside the bathroom was the Tommy Jarvis call thing, and I was like,
He said
but
the
the
power
power
supply
oh, the
supply
power.
that
Okay,
little
sorry.
area.
I thought you
Yeah.
said the. Okay.
Because
Because the power supply only powers up a certain area. There's like 2 to 3 boxes for.
Yeah, this is one of the things that Jason was telling my little survivor girl as we
Mhm.
were standing in the middle of the road, and I was like, okay, this makes sense now. Like, most normal conversation.
Next time, well, I don't think any of us. Well, I have in a multiplayer game, but I don't think any of y'all have killed Jason.
No.
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 I've
I
had
don't
the
think so.
sweater for stuns.
Yeah,
Because I
we've
like to
gotten
go
close.
find it.
Actually, I think we might have. I think
I
we-
haven't.
Have
No.
a night next time we're all 8 to set up, and
And do it.
I'll be Jason, and I'll try to walk y'all through and see if we can get an achievement for that.
It's not too bad if it. You just gotta have a sharp weapon with Tommy.
You have to knock off. Yeah, you have to have a sharp weapon with Tommy. You have to knock off his mask.
You have to stun him with the sweater, knock off his mask.
Yeah, you have to have it, and it has to be a female character. Stun him with the sweater, and then while he's stunned, then you attack him with Tommy, and then boom.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult in a live game. Very difficult because trying to get all of those situations, those requirements right while he is actually trying to kill you is very difficult.
Yeah, you definitely have to have some characters that have some strength behind them to fucking hit that mask off eventually.
Yes.
We wanted to play Midnight Ghost Hunt because we had 8. But it wouldn't, because it finally full launched. Like, that, it's out of early access. It's got its full launch thing. We were all so pumped to play it. But then one of us couldn't get it to work properly. And it's like, no, I just want to see it. I want to be a ghost.
Didn't it work for Snitty beforehand, though?
Yeah,
it has in the past.
I think part of the problem with him is that he hasn't turned off his computer in like a month and a half. So it was really struggling to do.
Yeah, he to fucking turn that shit
Does that
off.
bother anybody else? Like, for me, that's like, you spilled something on the floor and it's been there for a month and a half. Why have you not cleaned it up yet? You just gotta turn it off.
Like,
I mean...
It's like a human. You need sleep. You have to turn off your PC every so often. Like, yeah, it's okay to run it for a while, but
Just
you have to turn it off.
Just restart the damn thing. But
Like,
you
you got to do something to help, clear the cache or let it reset or something like that. But I've watched him for weeks on end just be away on Steam and be away on Discord, and it just sits there for weeks. It's like, I was going to say something Saturday morning, but he was off of Steam and off of Discord, so that means he shut down his PC. So
Finally, or it shut itself down.
He
There's no
probably shut
telling
off.
how much electricity he's using just in background processes being sitting there.
I know, right? But
Yeah, he also needs just upgrades in general.
yeah.
yes,
Yeah, we're gonna.
yes, he does.
So many things that need to, like, we need to upgrade this, he needs to upgrade that, we could give him some of our stuff once we upgrade our stuff, maybe. It's just like, oh my god. All of this stuff. But, I don't know, we've been doing much else?
Not really. I played a little bit of, I think it's called Inscription, which is a deck builder. It's interesting.
You mean
You're
like hard decks, not like
Yeah.
sit on the
Mhm.
deck. Okay.
Sit
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
Well, I mean,
Well, to
okay,
be
look,
fair,
there's a
this is the era-
supermarket sim that has taken off, and you are literally just a cashier. Okay, it could have been a deck builder.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
So no, it is a card deck builder.
Thank you.
And the concept is basically you're in a cabin and a guy is telling you a story and you're using the cards to produce and go through the story, but you can actually get away from the table, and inside the cabin you're at, there's puzzles that are in there.
This game's been out for a
two of
little
the-
bit, hasn't it?
They went out?
I feel
Yeah,
like-
it came
yeah.
out 2021, 2022.
Okay,
something like
okay.
that.
I feel like I've
You've more than likely seen the style of this game.
Yeah.
at least
I think
once or
I've
twice
actually
through.
seen videos of this game.
Yeah, and it's really, really good. Like the way that it's built is interesting. So like you have basically blood sacrifices you have to make to grab to be able to draw
Gross.
the card. And then they'll do that one, and then now I've unlocked bone to where you use bone to be able to do it, and there's certain criteria that make both happen. And then of course you're battling as you go along too. And the little dudes in the background, and all you see is eyes that you're playing against. Like the guy that's telling you doesn't really have a face, but when you go up as he's one of the bosses that you have to go up against, he takes a mask and puts it on and becomes that particular boss that you're up against. So it's
Neat.
really interesting. The design of it's cool. And you've got one of the little cards that'll talk to you, and he's kind of helping you in a way, the little card is, to try to progress the outside part of the story. So going in through the cabin and doing certain things in there too. So it's really neat the way that it's designed. And I like it because at work, if you have a customer come in or whatever, it's a pausable game. I like
You're
being
just like,
able to
"Hold
pause.
on."
Yeah, so you can kind of play it casually.
Speaking of that, I definitely have to complain. Diablo 4 is not pausable, and that is frustrating the shit out of me.
Oh, it's
Like,
live?
Yes, it is a live game, and it frustrates the shit out of me. Like,
I guess-
I don't mind. Like, I like playing those games, and I like to be able to play them. But, goddamn, if Nuggy comes up and needs something, which I don't usually play when he's around, but if he comes up, or if I have to do something very quick, I can't pause it. I've got to
You
run
get
away.
wife aggro.
I've got to run away or teleport back to town. I can't just be like, okay, what's that, and just pause the game and walk away. Why is pausing in games
I'm
so
gonna
difficult
guess
these
with
days?
that one specifically is because they designed it to be a multiplayer online game, and you can't pause the world state for your online buddies. So even though you are playing in the single player, they don't have a
No,
differentiation.
it's a live action. It's a live game. Like, I see people wandering around. It's almost MMO style.
Oh.
So it's similar
then
to
that's
Destiny,
why.
where you can see the other people running around.
Yeah,
while you're
like
playing.
I run around. I end up with people doing events with me, things
Well,
like
then
that.
that's why, is because you're online.
I know, and it's frustrating. I don't need to see other people. I just
There's
wanna
not an
load up
option
Diablo
to turn
4.
that off.
No, yeah, you have to be online to play that game. That is an always online game.
Dumb.
They've got to stop that.
If there's a
not
single
every game
player
needs to be-
facet of it, it doesn't have to be like, you shouldn't be required to be online. You should be able to opt in to that and not have it be something that is a requirement.
But it's one of
Yeah.
those things where fucking companies see multiplayer as a competitive style where like if you see other people you're trying to like compete with them, so it generates this kind of interaction inside the game that makes your game more popular. So they want like people to people interaction to keep driving their game forward, which I understand. But
Dumb.
also I would like the ability to just be able to play the game by myself offline and pause it. Like I can do that
Right.
with Diablo 2. Like it's a completely single player set game, which I can pause at any point. Like pausing games just seem to be a thing of the past, which is getting real frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of not pausable games. Although in Baldur's Gate even like you can hit the journal or whatever, but the city stuff is still happening behind you. The upside is since it's turn-based combat, if you're in combat, just walk away.
Yeah, thankfully I could just pause, like I could just let it go. But still, you can't pause Baldur's Gate either. Like
Yeah. Like
time
just
is
give
still
me
going.
a pause button.
Yes.
I've been playing Mass Effect. Like I don't know why, but I had the bug to play it, and it does have a pause button. So yeah. But I'm
Same
playing
thing
the
with
first
Dragon
one.
Age 2, Griff.
Yeah. I have been playing the first Dragon Age. I had to have Dragon Age Origins. I made a mistake in my party comp, and I'm also an idiot. So let's just go ahead and throw that all out there. But I was in the Orzammar, which is the dwarf area, and you got to do all the underground stuff. And there's a point of no return, and I did not realize it was a point of no return. And so I didn't have as much consumable stuff as I probably should have, and I also, one of the people in my camp was like, I really want to go on this, it's very important to my, storyline and things, and I was like, cool, okay, you're in the party. So it's me, a warrior, Alistair, a warrior, and Oghren, a warrior, and Wen. Okay, that's a mage, cool. Yeah, don't roll 3 warriors.
It's not that bad, and I'm not gonna try to.
I had
pick
to have
on
Chicken
you, Griff.
do it. I had like locked myself into a place that I couldn't get out of because I couldn't do the fight. So yes, you can make fun of me. I was terrible.
I'm not gonna try to pick on her, but being a old school gamer, I understand that there's more to the game than just playing it. Like she never, and in that old school Dragon Age games, she never changed the tactics of her people, so everybody was on like default, which means if they got attacked in melee, they would start chasing people down to fight. Like all of her people would just run away and start chasing
out for me so far.
The enemies, and start like even her healer would just run off and start attacking. It's like, bruh, no, stop it. So I went through and I adjusted the tactics on every single one of them so that they would actually play like you want them to. Like Alistair would just be like, somebody hit me, I'm gonna chase him down, and would like leave Win completely exposed. Like, no, you stay on defensive, you use these abilities like this, you stay near the main character so that you could play supportive that style tank.
Look, all of my characters were just as like ADD as me, where it's like, get it, get the thing.
Except for Win. Win was on default, and because the tactics was set up, she only used 3 abilities: heal, rejuvenate, and heroic defense, or whatever it was. And I was like,
heroic aura.
Girl, yeah, heroic aura. I was like, girl, you don't even have Win doing anything by herself. Like, if you're not doing it, all she is gonna do is just heal and stand there. It's like, what? Put her on cautious, give her the healer preset, and then let her actually do her job. So I set up everything, and I one-shot it. So
yeah, he did the fight super well.
A little salty about it, but I was like, this is what happens when you set them up to actually play the characters properly.
It probably would have also worked out better if I had a party comp that was worth a damn. I mean,
it's
3 warriors,
bad.
2 of which are sword and shield, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna give her a ton of shit for this. She made Alistair, and Alistair is usually the tank.
Yeah.
Why in any part of the world would she make herself the tank too? I don't know. Like
I took taunt because I wanted the
DPS.
last thing in the tree, and I meant to give him taunt, but I didn't because I can't remember what I took instead.
Oh yeah, that too. That too. I will just yell at her for that because Alistair, her tank, she didn't even give taunt to. It's like,
He's
how do you
got
expect your
threaten.
homeboy? Yeah, that's good.
Threaten.
That's a good stance to have. But how do you pull the enemies off of your healer, or pull the enemies off
Threaten.
of you, or the
He turns
DPS?
around and is like, "Hey, I don't like your face. I'm gonna hit you now."
Especially when your
threatens them.
DPS character has taunt too. It's like
I
this
wasn't
guy should have
using it.
taunt. This guy right here should have taunt to help you.
I'm bad. Okay, look, I'm bad. I play the game for the story content. I do not do as well with the min-maxing and actually making it function.
It's not min-maxing. It's literally setting up what you want.
I said and
that's just
making it
basic
function.
tactics.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
just
tactics. Like
Look
telling
here
your
now.
healer to be a healer rather than just being dumb.
It's
is
because
a
half
very
the time
important
I'm
part.
playing her. I swap to her and do
I
all of the
wonder
stuff.
why. Because Wynn doesn't know what the fuck to do. She's just like, I'm gonna stand here. If somebody hits me, I'm gonna run off into the void and die to being surrounded by people. But you know,
Yeah.
I'll try to heal. It's like, girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, I fixed it. I got the fight down, so she can move on now.
I'm sorry. Thanks for fixing it though.
Yeah.
Now that
At
I'm
least
like
I'm still
2/3 through the game, I can, you know.
I'm still useful after all these years.
Just means that when I get to the Landsmeet part, I'll be a little better off. Oh my god. Okay, let's. Do we have anything else to talk about? I have to go wallow in my shame now.
I
No,
don't know.
I don't think so.
What else have we
Yeah.
played? No.
Really haven't played much.
Yeah, we've been
Well, I
a
mean,
little busy.
Our
Little
Friday
bit.
nights usually turn into the party nights, but I mean,
Yeah.
mostly it's just Friday 13th or First Class Trouble or Lethal Company or just random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just act natural.
Just like natural. Ooh, that's our jam right now. So.
Anything else?
Finally won.
Who
Yes.
did?
Snitty
Snitty
finally
finally
won.
won.
He has the curse of always being in second place no matter what. So he finally won.
Griff let him win too.
I just started
She
blasting,
had it-
okay?
Wow.
She had it tied, but she started taking shots to try to stop him, and then just dumpstered her score.
Yeah,
so
you
she
take
could've
negatives
tied.
if you shoot the things that are not the real people, so
Mm-hmm. So
I just started blasting.
she just let him win.
She's being nice.
Snitty, you're
Mhm.
welcome.
She'll be nice to us, but she'll be nice to Snitty. Great.
Well, we like I think it was last week. We just basically shit on Snitty all night long for getting second. At one point, he was in second place, or he was in first place by a large margin, and I was like, "Watch how this works." And I was like, first, Griff is gonna overtake City, and then Cat's gonna sneak up to second and push him to third, and then he's gonna take second, and then Cat's gonna push for the win. And unfortunately for him, it played out exactly like that.
It did.
But he was so salty that it actually played out like that, and he ended up second, losing to Cat.
Who came from like last?
He quit the last game that we were playing after Cat took the lead. He just quit the game.
I think he got kicked, but it was
I think he
perfect
quit.
timing.
I think he quit.
That's just him coming back going, oh, I got kicked. Oh.
Yeah, I got kicked. That would have won.
Oh, too funny. Anything else?
Nah, I
No.
think that's it.
Oh, we do appreciate everybody that hangs out every other week at Infinite Respawn. As always, just make sure that you hit the sub button, the little bell button down at the bottom, and make sure you hit the like as well. I think that's it. Nope. Twitch.tv/Elite Chicken 313. Make sure you hit the follow. He's busy right now, but hopefully back in the
Yeah,
fall.
he'll be back.
Hit it. And then, and make sure you go to twitch.tv/MDBOaktree, where I'm on there about once a week on Sundays usually, because I'm busy as well. So
Yeah.
we got to do what we got to do. But Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Chicken.
Bucket.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.